Guys, welcome back to today's video. And today's video, we're covering everything you need to know about AI automation. What exactly is AI automation? Why do we need automation? And what is it? And what are the core concepts of AI automation? I'll also going to cover through workflow as well as some best practices to help you get started in your AI automation journey. So if this is your first time coming across my YouTube channel, my name is Emmanuel. What I do basically on this channel, I talk about AI automation and artificial intelligence, generative AI, everything you need to know about AI, you can always find on this channel. So make sure you hit on the subscribe button and make sure you share this video so that whenever I drop any latest video, you'll be the first person to see the video. So now guys, let's dive right into AI automation. Now, why do we need automation? I get our questions every day that why do we need automation? What's all the buzz around AI automation? The whole reason we need automation is to actually make data driving decisions. Like, for example, when we take decisions based on feelings or intuition, it is subject to interpretation, it is subjective. So, this actually makes it difficult to estimate and justify the return on investment and often cause us to wasted resources, whether they are budgetary or actually it is time related. So, however, when we take a data driving approach, this make it more logic driving and objective when we use AI automation for it. So it's going to improve our capacity to report and increase our visibility ROI, as well as requiring fewer resources like the human resources, budgetary, and in terms of time. So basically, automation is the key to bring data driving. When all the tasks we used to execute manually, when we bring in automation, it does the tasks smoothly. So automation is just the key to being data driving. And when tasks are executed manually, we have a lot of wasted time. Like a lot of time wasted. Imagine we want to generate thousands of lead. Imagine how many hours you spend generating that lead. But with AI, I can generate as 1,000 emails as many as I want within a few minutes, as long as I have my agent set up. And also we have human error from expected low value tags. We have lack of visibility into ROI and inefficient use of resources. With AI automation, you can actually replace a lot of staff. You can back out a lot of stuff. Amazon did something recently. They laid up a lot of staffs on their company. Most of the things the staffs does are being replaced by AI. So AI automation is now bringing everything to be actually become easy, and you don't need much human resources unlike before. Like before now, for example, now if I run a restaurant before, I had to hire a customer service representative to answer people's questions online, reply to their DMs, everything, book appointments, help people process their orders. But right now, you don't need a customer service representative. You don't need a customer service representative to book anything online right now. With an AI chatbot, you can actually achieve everything you need to do, right from booking appointments, making people orders, like everything a customer service representative is going to do. An AI chatbot is going to do everything as long as you tell it what it's going to do and you have automated it the right way. So this is exactly why we actually need AI automation, because no one is going to be happy doing low value tasks. For example, imagine your boss telling you to copy data from one spreadsheet to another. You know, it sounds easy, do, but it's not easy. It's a very, very big work. But with an AI, I can easily give AI to copy everything together and paste it to another spreadsheet. Within a twinkle of an eye, everything automated without even moving an inch. So, however, when we start to integrate automation, we actually gain much more predictability and data availability. It also increases employee efficiency because each employee can now focus their efforts on much more higher value tasks. This leads to higher ROI and lower needs for human resources. So, what exactly is this AI automation? What is automation? Let's start with the definition of automation. What is automation? Automation is a predictable set of predetermined actions that transfers data from one point to another. Automation is also the process of getting software, AI agents, or systems to handle all the repetitive tasks that you don't have to do. Right from customer service support, handling people DM, copying file from one place to another, everything like everything that you do repetitively, AI agents, AI automation can now do everything for you. without moving an inch. It typically starts with trigger like receiving a form submission, an ink, or a new email. These days, AI automation has made it easier that when an email comes in, let's say you're a sales coach and you sell things, people make inquiries, consultations. You know, imagine someone receiving hundreds of email every day. How do you want to reply hundreds of email every day? But with AI automation can actually helps you sort out your emails, sort it out for those for consultations, those for bookings, those that want to buy things. It's actually sorts each and every one of them into different categories and drafts a reply for them. You can even let it reply there automatically, but most people don't want AI to reply them automatically. They would love to cross check. But as at that, it will automatically draft a message to reply what that sender sends. I can actually go through that draft and approve it just like that. You can even get a notification on your WhatsApp that so person has sent a message and you've drafted AI has drafted the reply and it needs your approval to send the message back to the sender. So that's exactly what AI automation does. Saves you it saves your time, it saves you from doing repetitive tasks all without moving an inch. So now this is an example of a simple automation that we all know. We have a form submission, and when the form is submitted, we check what kind of company is submitting the form. And after checking what type of company is submitting the form, we can now, if we cannot find a company, we ignore. If it's a low value company, we can add the person submitting the form to an email sequence. And if it's a high value company, we can add the information to a Google Sheet. And if it's an ideal customer, then we can give the information to an accountant manager as such. So you can see here, we have a predictable set of predetermined action depending on which kind of company is submitting the form. We have a very predictable set of actions that needs to be executed. And we have a data transfer from one point to another. So the starting point right here being the form submission. And it's depending on what type of company is submitting the form. And we're going to be transferring the data to either an email to a Google Sheet or, for example, Slack to notify the account manager. If this kind of company will do this, if it's that kind of company will do that, then we'll be able to create an automation because we will have to have some kind of human intervention. And again, if we do not have any data transfer, then we are not really automating anything. So the data transfer explain itself. Before building your first workflow, you have to understand some important core concepts you need because this core concept is going to set you up on how you're actually going to build this AI automation agent, how you're going to go about it. And the first one I'm going to explain right here today is all called the trigger. The trigger. What exactly is a trigger? A trigger is what start an automation. From the example I mentioned earlier, the trigger was the form submission. So when drawing out this automation, the trigger is not going to have an entry arrow, only an exit arrow. There are many different kind of triggers. We have the manual, the trigger where you just have to execute it manually. I also have the one that you can actually schedule that okay, AI agent, so at every 8 o'clock, send me the weather update. Or once a month at 4 p.m., do this and do that. We also have the one you can actually link to applications, trigger workflow. Let's say when you receive a webhook, when your property is updated in the CRM, or when a form is submitted, you can even link it to your WhatsApp account that you are going to be chatting directly without AI agent. And another important one is actually called the filter. Filtering is what allows us to allow or block some certain types of data from following specific paths based on some certain condition. Like from the example I stated earlier, depending on the type of company, low value company, high value company, or ideal customer, you can actually filter them out. Okay, whenever someone submits an email, whenever someone fills a form, let me categorize them to their category. Okay, maybe this one is a low income earner, middle income earner, high income earner. So that's what filter does. So filter basically categorizes each people to their ideal categories. We're also going to look at what exactly is workflow. Now, from the example I stated earlier, I talked about form submission, done, which then the different parts depending on the kind of company, and then different actions. Most workflow follows a similar template. It starts with a trigger, which starts the workflow. Maybe when someone submits a forms, or every day at 8 o'clock, like I stated earlier, or when something happens, it starts. Then it goes to processing, whether you want to sort it out, filtering, formatting, transforming, or segmenting the data into different parts. Then action. That's just the three major parts of a workflow. A workflow starts with the triggering, which start the workflow, then the processing part, and also the action part. So maybe when we start out a trigger, do this, and we process it, okay, sort it out in different categories and use it to update a Google Sheet or send an email or notify a person via Slack. Before starting any automation practice, I always tell my students, always map before building a workflow. Take a pen and a paper. Okay, this is the type of workflow I want to be. This is the type of problem I'm solving. Map it out on paper, or you can even use online software like Miro to map out your workflow. With that, it's going to be easier for you to build anything anything you want to build. Not like you're just going to jump into your AI automation software and just building. Map it out, map it out first. And when someone comes to you, it's okay, I would like to automate these tags, or you have the idea, first of all, mark it out. This ensure you have visibility on, okay, you're able to understand what the task is and its predictable actions, what tools, APIs, or actions are required. Is it possible? Because you meet a lot of clients that will tell you, I met a client yesterday on Upwork. He was telling me to do this, which I know it's not visibly possible. Even if visibly possible, we might still be restricted at some point. So first of all, check it out. Is it actually visible? Because there's nothing that is worse than building an automation and finding out that it can't actually work. But mapping it out will save you wasted time, would save a lot of energy from doing something that is not going to work. And also mapping it out will help you to understand how long it's going to take to automate it, and will there be human intervention needed. If the task can't be broken into a predictable set or action, human intervention might be needed. How do you map out an automation? Like I said earlier, you can use a flowchart tool like Miro to auto, or you can even use a pen and paper. List every part of the process as an individual block. Work left to right. Link every blocks together with an arrow based on interaction. Like for example, I said earlier, you can see the workflow started with a form submission, then what kind of company, then the action. So that's the best practices for mapping out your automation. One thing is this maps can be much more complex, and for those it is even more critical to map it out. If anything is unclear while mapping, we solve it before beginning the workflow. In my next video, I'll be covering webhooks and API, which are two very important nodes that you need to understand before building your first AI automation workflow. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video. And if you find this video helpful, make sure you share this video, subscribe, and like.